last class we discussed that uh, you have a gear, right? So we have a problem where you have to identify the minimum number of teeth required for a pinion to avoid interference. I think we have written the given data and we completed this first part, which is minimum number of teeth required. The second part is you have to identify what is the length of path of contact. We have to start from there. Okay, so let us proceed. So first you have to identify what is length of path of contact. To identify this length of path of contact, so this length of path of contact, you need to know what is length of path of approach and length of path of recess. So only based on that we can able to identify. So LPA, let us identify LPA. This LPA has a formula which is related to capital R, capital RA, and phi. I think so. Right. So only three variables for this particular formula. Right. So because we know LPA is, sorry. So LPA is equal to root of RA square minus R square cos square phi minus R sin phi. So this is the formula. So the variables are R, RA and phi. First, let us identify R. Can you able to identify the value of R? Yes. How to identify that?
From module.
Yeah, very good. So from module, we can go to identify the R. So we know that a module is equal to T by T, right? So same procedure. So which means R is equal to MT by 2, right? So 2R. So I can substitute it. So which is equal to M. What is M? 6, I think so, right? 57. We got capital T as 57. So according to the formula, R is equal to MT by 2. So when I substitute, I am getting 171 mm, right? Next, RA. To identify RA, so I have to add with the addendum, right? So that's why we got 171 plus this addendum 6. We are getting 177. So next we substitute in the formula, right? So we know RA square minus R into cos square phi minus 171 into sin 20, right? Let us substitute it. So find out what is the answer for this.
15.7346.
Yeah. So okay, you are getting 15.734
Yes, sir.
mm. Yeah, thank you. So now we got this LPA. So the procedure is same. Let us identify what is length of path of recess, right? So let me proceed with length of path of recess. So this is LPR. So this LPR is equal to root of small RA square minus small r square into cos square phi minus r sin phi. So the procedure is same. So again, I'm going to use the module to identify what is the value. So we know that module is equal to, so or I will directly write down, or I will directly write down. So small r, small r is equal to small m into t divided by 2. Right, this is what the formula is, which is equal to m is 6 into t. So t is 19 approximately. So we will put 19. So 19 divided by 2, right? So 6 into 19 divided by 2, you are getting around 57, right? So now I got R. So the next step is RA. RA is 57 plus addendum, which is 6. So 57 plus 6, we are getting 63. Now LPR is equal to root of RA square,
RA square
63 square
63 square
minus
minus 57 square into cos square 5
cos, cos square
minus
5 minus
57 sin
into
20. So when we do, it is coming as 13.6720.
13.672.
6720.
Yeah, thank you. So you are getting
Our
LPR
total
as this.
length of path of contact, the sum of both is coming as 29.4066.
So 29.406
4066.
mm, right? So adding this two, we are getting length of path of contact, which is 29.40, right? So this is what we got. So this is our answer, right? So yeah. So now next, what they are going to identify. When you look here, so the next thing is they are asking number of pairs of teeth in contact. What is this actually? What is number of teeth, the pair of teeth in contact? What it mean?
Length of arc of contact divided by circular pitch.
Yeah, it is nothing but contact ratio, right? Yes, it is contact ratio. So number of pairs of contact it is contact ratio. Contact ratio is length of arc of contact.
சார் இந்த பாத்தும் ஆர்க்கும் ரெண்டுமே ஒண்ணுதானா?
இல்ல path is different, arc is different. Arc is different. So you have to divide by side cos phi. Then only we will get arc of contact. Right? Length of arc of contact divided by your circular pitch. Right? So this is the formula to identify this contact ratio. Okay, first let us identify what is this length of arc of contact. This length of arc of contact is nothing but length of path of contact divided by cos phi. Right? So which is equal to 29.406 divided by cos 20 degree. Right? So what you will get?
31.2939.
So 31.293 mm. Actually, what is this length of? So as I told you, so actually the contact is in a term of arc, but we assume that as a line. Okay, that's why length of path of contact will have lesser value when compared to arc of contact. Right? உண்மையா ஆர்க்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா higher length when compared to this path line. Okay.
ஓகே சார்.
That is the problem. Okay. Yeah. So now I got what is my contact ratio CR. Contact ratio CR is 31.29 divided by circular pitch. Circular pitch is what is the formula for circular pitch?
T by D. Sir, pi D by T, so which is equal to M by pi.
So it is M by pi. இல்லையே பையம் இல்ல
பையன்
Sir, pi m, sir. Pi, sir. Pi m.
Yes, sir, pi M, sir, pi M, sir, pi M.
It is pi into m, right? So circular pitch is pi into m. So pi is of course 3.14 and m is your module, right? Which is equal to 31.29 divided by pi into modulus 6, I think so. So what is
So
it?
when we do it 31.29 divided by 18.84, which is equal to 1.67.
You are getting 1.67. Approximately 2 teeth are having contact. Okay. So approximately 2 teeth are having in contact. That is my next point. So this is also we identified. Next, you have to identify maximum velocity of sliding. You don't need to identify both the velocity. Maximum velocity, you know the formula for this velocity of sliding is nothing but omega 1 plus omega 2 into either length of path of approach or length of path of recess, right? So this is the formula. So you identify which is greater, you substitute that. That's it. Okay. So if
சார்
you look here,
0.5க்கு மேல இருந்தா அடுத்த நம்பர் ரவுண்ட் ஆஃப் பண்ணுமா சார்?
இல்லப்பா டீத்ன்றதுனால கான்டாக்ட் டீத்ன்றதுனால அப்ராக்சிமேட்டா இது பண்ணிடுங்க.
சார் அப்போ மேல ஸ்மால் டி வந்து
இது டீத்
ஸ்மால் டி
புரியல.
டீத் 1.1 இருந்துச்சுன்னா கூட 2 போட்டுக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு அதானே சார்?
இல்ல 1.1 இருந்ததுன்னா யூ கேன் கன்சிடர் as 1.
சார் அப்போ ஸ்மால் டிக்கு கொஞ்சம் மேல போறீங்களா சார்? 18.19 இருக்குல்ல சார், அது 18 எடுக்கலாம்ல சார் அப்போ?
இல்ல இது வந்து நம்பர் ஆஃப் டீத்ப்பா. நம்பர் ஆஃப் டீத் வந்து திஸ் இஸ் தி ப்ராப்ளம்ல பாருங்க. லுக் அட் ஸோ ஆக்சுவலி வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா இது வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா மினிமம் நம்பர் ஆஃப் டீத் ரிக்வயர்ட் டு அவாய்ட் இன்டர்ஃபரன்ஸ். ரைட்டா? ஸோ ப்ராப்ளமே இந்த ஃபார்முலா இருக்கு இல்லைங்களா? திஸ் ஃபார்முலா இஸ் அப்ளிகபிள் ஃபார் மினிமம் நம்பர் ஆஃப் டீத். ஸோ அப்படின்னா வந்து மினிமமா வந்து நான் 18.19 இருக்கணும். ஸோ இப்போ நான் 18 போட்டேன்னா என்ன ஆகும்னா இன்டர்ஃபரன்ஸ் வந்துடும்.
ஓகே சார்.
So you are approximating to 19.
Okay.
Minimum you should have that 18. It is what that is the meaning.
Okay sir. Okay sir. Thank you.
So whereas here it is not like that. Here you can consider it. Contact na எவ்வளவு கான்டாக்ட்ல இருக்குன்றது. Teeth how many teeth is having in contact. In that case, so when it is greater than 0.5 you can put it as 2. When it is lesser than, you can consider it as 1 itself. It doesn't matter.
Okay sir.
Can you get it?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
அது பர்மிசிபிள் வேல்யூ மாதிரி இருக்கிறதுனால அது வந்து 1 இருந்தா கூட அடுத்த நம்பர் எடுத்துக்கணும். அப்படியே சார்? Yes.
இது வந்து மினிமம். This is minimum value. So teeth எப்பயுமே always you consider even it is 1.1 or 1.01 you consider as the next one. Okay?
ஓகே சார்.
Only for contactility you have to maintain that. Right? Okay. Now we will go for maximum sliding velocity. So maximum sliding velocity to identify this. Right? So maximum sliding velocity. Since the question is asked to identify maximum sliding velocity, I need what is omega 1, what is omega 2. I have to multiply with whichever is maximum here. Here length of path of approach is 15.7. Races is 13. So this is higher, right? So I will multiply with 15.7. Whichever is higher, because they are asking what is the maximum. Right? Sometimes if they ask minimum sliding velocity, you have to multiply with the minimum value. Right? So it is 15.734. So just multiply with 15.734. Okay. The next step is I have to identify what is omega 1 and omega 2. Right? How to identify that value. So let me proceed here. So you know what is omega 1 by omega 2 as 3. How to identify omega 1 and omega 2 separately? Sorry, I think we identified here. So the beginning stage itself we identified. Omega 1 we consider as 2 pi n by 60. So then we use omega 1 by omega 2 ratio, which is the gain ratio. We identify what is omega 1 and what is omega 2. So 9.424 and 3.14. So let us substitute it. So let me add it. So it is 9.42 plus 3.14 into 15.73. What is the value?
$197.559.
197.559 mm per second. Right? So or I can write as 0.197 meter per second. This is my sliding velocity. Right? Any doubt in this problem? So most of the problem will be only in this two type.
சார் ரெசிஸ்க் வேணாமா
Right.
சார்?
Sorry.
இது
தேவையில்ல. ஸோ கேட்டது வந்து மேக்ஸிமம் வெலாசிட்டின்றதுனால எது மேக்ஸிமமோ அது மட்டும் போட்டா போதும்.
ஓ அப்ரோச் என்ன ரெசிஸ்ட்ல எது மேக்ஸிமமோ அது. ஓகே.
ஆமா. Whichever is maximum, we will put that. That is enough.
Okay.
If they ask what is the sliding velocity for both, then you have to do it separately.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, this problem is for 16 marks, sir.
Yes. 16 mark.
So both interference concept and length of arc of quanta, everything, if they combine, they will do 16 mark.
Yes. This entire problem is for 16 mark.
Yes.
Right? So there are only two concepts. One is to identify the number of teeth. The other one is to identify the addendum. So which we solved in previous class. Right? So these are the concepts. So I will stop here because I don't want to solve more problems in this. So I will go for the next topic. Right? Hope you are clear in this. Right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we will proceed with my presentation. So we will discuss new topic which is called as gear train. Okay. So still now what we discuss is gears. So the gears is actually used for this gear trains. What is this gear train? Right? So any mechanism. So gear train is like a mechanism or a machine which used to transmit power. Right? So whenever you have a changes in speeds, right? You use a set of gear, right? Whenever I use set of gears, right? Then I will call that as gear train. Right? So whenever I use a set of gears, I can call it as a gear train. Mostly, it is used whenever you require a mechanism which is having a change in speeds, right? Or change in torque, whatever it is, right? Let me consider this example. So this is how a gear is transmitted when you put a gear in a car, right? So whenever I use this mechanism, what happens? There is a teeth which will engage accordingly, right? You can able to see. So in this particular shaft, we have sets of gears, right? So there are lots of gears here. So that's why we call this as a gear train. Okay. So what happens whenever changes in mesh? If there is a changes in mesh, what happens? Your speed will also change, right? Your speed will also change accordingly, right? So that is the main purpose. So actually, when you look after here, so it depends on rolling cylinders, right? What is this rolling cylinder? So it is like you have two types of gears. One is paired externally, right? Which is one gear is like this. At the top of that, you will have another gear, right? So which is fixed with respect to this, right? Other one is internal gear, right? So one gear inside that you will learn another gear, right? So what is the difference? So actually, this types of gears is used when you required a type of direction. For example, in this case, if I consider this as a driving shaft, if this is rotating in clockwise, right? What happens? Your driven one will rotate in anti-clockwise, right? So you will have opposite speed. So opposite direction. The speed is opposite. When one is rotating in clockwise, other one is anti-clockwise, right? So that is applicable for external type of gears, right? When I consider internal type of gear, so if I consider this as driving, if one is rotating in clockwise, other will also rotate in clockwise, both in same direction. Okay, so that is internal type of gears, right? So it depends. So it depends on particular situation where you required whether you can able to accommodate so a set of gears, right? Then in that case, we can follow either external or internal sets. Okay, right. So in this, there are different types of gear trains. So what are they? Number one, simple gear train, right? Number two, we call it as a compound gear train. 3 reverted gear train, and the 4 epicyclic gear train, right? So these are the different types of gear trains, right? So in this, the first 3, your axis is fixed. The axis of this Katacha.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir, you are in the line, sir.
Okay, okay. So when the axis of the shaft are fixed relative to each other, then we call that as a that will be applicable for these 3 types of gear trains. That is simple, compound, and reverted. In this, axis is fixed, right? So shaft or axis on the there is no movement in the shaft. Whereas in epicyclic, the axis of the shaft may move relative to the fixed axis. Or axis or axis rotate up, right? I will show an example while we are looking after this epicyclic, right? So first we deal with these 3, then we will proceed with this. Okay, right? So whenever I say it's a simple gear train, it means that one shaft will have 1 gear, right? So whenever I consider any shaft, if that shaft is having only 1 gear, then I can say that it is a simple gear train. Okay, so these are some examples you can able to see here. So the figure A, there is a driver shaft and is a driven shaft. This both, you have a gear, and this gear is meshed with only 1 shaft. So one shaft or gear. So even in this case, driver, driven is here. So நடுவுல இருக்கிறது வந்து ஐடியல்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, ஐட்லர் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So that I will tell you, right? So this is another type. So here also each shaft is having only 1 gear. Similarly, third one. So each shaft is having only 1 gear. So it is not based on number of gears you are using. The concept is whenever I say simple gear, it means that 1 gear on 1 shaft, right? Each shaft will have only 1 gear. Okay, right? Let me consider this, right? So
Sir,
I say that,
sir, just a minute previous slide, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir, thank you, sir. Just a minute, sir. I will wait just a minute, sir.
Over.
1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So when I consider here, so let me consider one is a driver, another is a driven. You know that, so your velocity ratios are same, right? Which means that I can say like this, right? If I say N1 is the speed of gear 1, N2 is the speed of gear 2. And similarly, T1 is for the number of teeth of gear 1 and T2 is the number of gear 2. So as we identified, omega is equal to N into T, right? Right? So which means I can write it like this. So we know that omega 1 is equal to omega 2, which means N1 T1 is equal to N2 T2, right? I can write as N1 by N2 is equal to T2 by T1, right? So your speed ratio, we call this as a speed ratio. So speed ratio is always with respect to driver divided by driven. Driver இதுல வந்து 1 தான் driver. So that is N1 by N2. So that we call it as a speed ratio, right? Driver speed divided by driven speed, right? So that is what we call it as a speed ratio, right? இல்லனா எப்படி சொல்லலாம், இன்னும் ஈஸியா வேற மாதிரி சொல்லணும்னா input by output. இதுல
Sir, speed
driver
ratio,
தான் input.
speed ratio is different and velocity ratio is different, sir.
No. Velocity ratio should be equal. Right? Velocity ratio is equal, which in turn I can identify in terms of what is the speed ratio.
Okay.
Speed, so angular velocity
Sir,
is equal.
omega 1 is equal to n into t அது sir.
புரியல.
Omega 1 is equal to nt.
இது போன கிளாஸ்ல போட்டோமேப்பா, நம்ம ட்ரை பண்ணமே இது.
Sir,
நான் காட்டுறேன் பாருங்க ஸ்லைட்.
Third session, sir. Third session ல வந்து அந்த
I will show it. I think I was somewhere here. I think so. ரொம்ப முன்னாடி நினைக்கிறேன். இந்த velocity ratio இங்க போட்டிருக்கேன் பாருங்க. ஒமேகா 1 வந்து சாரி. Yeah. So velocity ratio identify பண்ணுவோம் இல்லையா? இங்க பாருங்க.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
d1 into d1. So இது பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் வந்துச்சு இது. So n1 d1 n2 d2. இந்த d1 d2 வந்து மாடியூல் வச்சு மாறிடும். So அது பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் அதை ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணோம். Right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So now this I can say that it is input by output. Right? Approximately I can say that it is input by output. So that is your speed ratio. There is another thing. So there is something called as strain value. Right? So what is this strain value? Output by input. Simple சொல்ல போனா output by input. It is driven divided by driving. இல்லைன்னா ஆப்போசிட் டு. ஸோ 1 by speed ratio தான் வந்து train value. Right? So n2 by n1 வரும். n2 by n1 is equal to t1 by t2. So whatever it is. You remember any one formula, that is enough. So the other one is opposite. Okay? So either you want input by output or output by input, whatever it is, it depends. But this we call as a train value. So train value of the gear is output divided by input. Right? So which is what we will get something like this. Okay? Right. So let me consider here. Right? So let me consider here. So you have 3 teeth now. So 3 gears now. Right? So how to identify this? So it is like this. When I consider the first and second, so these two are in meshing. In that case, this is my driving gear. This is my driving gear and this is my driven gear. Right? So what I can do, I can write n1 by n2. Right? So driving divided by driven. Next, if I consider 2 and 3, 2 and 3 is having mesh. When you consider 2 and 3, 2 is driving and 3 is driven. So which means I will get n2 by n3. Right? Can you able to get it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is equal to, similar to that. So opposite to that. So when n1, n2 na inga opposite. t2 by t1. Into n2, n3 na inga t3 by t2. Right? So which I will get it as n1 by n3 is equal to t3 by t1. Right? So நடுவுல இருக்கிற gear தேவையில்ல actually. Right? So even though you have a gear, so mainly it depends on the teeth of driving gear and the driven gear. It doesn't require any teeth of idler gear, center gear. So whatever may be the teeth of this gear, any teeth, right? You will get the same speed. Right? If your driving and driven shafts are of same teeth, right? Whatever you change the teeth in the middle gear, there is no difference. Right? So it won't affect any speed. Right? That is why we call this as a idler gear. We call this as a idler gear. Okay? So this one is intermediate gear. Right? So mainly why you use this when you need same direction rotation, right? So you should note in this, whenever your intermediate gear is an odd number, whenever the intermediate gear is an odd number, then the gear of driver and driven will rotate in the same direction. When it is in even number, it will rotate in opposite direction, right? So, and of course, speed ratio is speed driven by driven, similar number of teeth in driven divided by number of teeth in driver, right? So both something like this. So driven by driver. So same formula, it is written in the statement. So this intermediate gear is called as an ideal gear. The main purpose of this ideal gear is to connect gears when there is a large center distance. ஒரு ஷாஃப்ட் இங்க இருக்கு, இன்னொரு ஷாஃப்ட் இங்க இருக்கு, கியர் அவ்வளவு பெருசு இல்லை அப்படின்னா சின்ன சின்ன ஐட்லர் கியர் நீங்க வச்சுக்கலாம். வச்சுட்டு யூ கேன் கனெக்ட் வித் திஸ், ரைட்? அது வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பர்பஸ். செகண்ட் பர்பஸ் டு டிசே தி டைரக்ஷன் ஆஃப் மோஷன். வெதர் யூ நீட் அவுட்புட் வந்து எனக்கு கிளாக் வைஸ்ல வேணுமா ஆன்டி கிளாக் வைஸ் வேணுமா, ரைட்? ஸோ இஃப் யூ நீட் சேம் ரொட்டேஷன், ஸோ இப்போ வந்து மோட்டர் ரொட்டேட் ஆகுது, டிரைவிங் கியர் இஸ் rotating in clockwise na, இதுவும் வந்து clockwise ல rotate ஆகணும். In that case, the idler gear should be odd number. So 1, 3, 5 and the range இருந்ததுன்னா it will rotate in same direction. If you need in opposite direction, it should be in even numbers, 2, 4, 6 இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும், right? Then it will rotate in opposite direction, right? So that is the main purpose of this idle gear. Any doubt up to this? Yes, Kataicha.
Understood, sir.
Okay. Okay, next. Can you tell me what is the formula for this particular diagram? Speed ratio என்ன இருக்கும்?
N1 by N4.
N1 by N4 is equal to T4 by T1.
T4 by T1.
T1.
Very good.
Train values are reciprocal. N4 by N1 is equal to T1 by T4.
Yeah, very good. So, of course, actually இது எப்படி வந்துச்சுன்னு தெரியும். கரெக்டா பாத்தீங்கன்னா N1 by N2,
N1 by N2 into N2 by N3 into N3 by N4.
இப்படிதான் வரும், right? So cancel ஆயிடும், then it will get like this. This is the final formula, right? Right.
Sir,
okay. So yeah,
sir, for this diagram, since the number of intermediate gears is 2, the driver and the driven will rotate in opposite direction.
yes, correct. It will rotate in opposite direction.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So these are all we call it as a simple gear train, because all this having only one shaft which is connected to one gear, right? Next we will go for compound gear train. I think the time is up. We will stop here. We will continue tomorrow about this compound gear train.